Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about something that's a lot darker than the topics I usually explore. Yes, I do make content on video games that primarily focus on the creepy aspect of certain things, and when I make those videos, I talk about how creepy the game is or the dark feelings that are attached to it. But what if we take a minute and step out of the digital world and take a look at the real one? We'll learn very quickly that the real darkness is outside of your door. It could be your neighbors or the people you know and love. If you've grown up in a quiet town or neighborhood, you'll know that not many crimes happen in those areas. If anything, it'll be your small crimes such as teenage hooligans, loud parties, DUIs, or something that is considered a petty crime. So when a woman's body is found in a duffel bag nearby, no wonder why everyone in the neighborhood is shocked, especially when the neighborhood has never seen anything like this, and everyone is so close with one another. It seems like these horrible things are even making their way into small communities, and it seems like nowhere is safe. Let's talk about the murder of Orsolya Gaal in Queens, New York.
Orsolya Gaal was 51 years old, the married mother of two teenaged boys. Stabbed some 60 times, her body found stuffed into a large duffel bag and dumped alongside the Jackie Robinson Parkway.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
That blood was Orsolya Gaal's, also found on the streets in this area, just half a mile from her Juno Street home.
Police say Gaal was murdered right inside her house, now surrounded by flowers and caution tape. The killer sent a chilling text to Gaal's husband, saying, quote, "Your whole family is next."
We go over to their place for dinner, they come to our house for dinner, she's babysat for their kids, that kind of stuff. Super shocked, just unbelievable.
Just a few days ago, on the 17th of April, the sun would rise once again on a chilly morning in Queens, New York. Van Nostrand decided he would take his dog for a walk in the early hours of the day at 8 a.m. And on this walk, he would end up on a street corner located on Metropolitan Ave and Jackie Robinson Parkway, where he would stumble across a bloody duffel bag. The man who discovered this gruesome find is 51-year-old Van Nostrand. He would then take his phone out and end up dialing the police to inform them of his findings. Emergency services would arrive and clear the scene, and the deceased person would then be identified shortly after. The deceased woman was ID'd as Orsolya Gaal. She was a 51-year-old mother who lived with her husband and two teenage sons, ages 17 and 13. After arriving to the murder scene, forensics would then see a visible trail of blood leading back to the home of Orsolya, which was about a half a mile away from where she was found in the bag. When talking to the police, Van Nostrand would describe Orsolya's corpse as, "To me, it looked like a mannequin. It didn't look very fleshy. It was more of a crash test dummy. I thought it was equipment being used for something. I didn't think anything of it." He goes on to say how he noticed the clothing that was still on Orsolya's body, and that's what made him realize that he was in fact looking at a real body. This neighborhood is in Queens, New York. It's one of those small neighborhoods where everybody knows each other. This clip here doubles down my theory on the community actually being somewhat decent.
We go over to their place for dinner, they come to our house for dinner, she's babysat for their kids, that kind of stuff. Super shocked, just unbelievable, right? How can this happen? And sad for her as the victim, the family. This is unbelievable.
From my experience, I would never think of inviting a neighbor to an event like that. From what I know and have lived through, my neighbors were never really those type, and to me that just shows how close the neighbors are with one another. But we also know that not everybody will be their honest self when talking on national television. So when a duffel bag containing a woman's corpse ends up on the corner street, well, Everyone is surprised because these types of crimes don't seem to happen much in this area of Queens, which is also why the news report is a big deal. Police have also made a statement claiming that the crime rate in the city of Queens has drastically gone up since the beginning of the pandemic. Keep that piece of information in your head. The blood that was covering the duffel bag had left a trail that led back to Orsolya's home. When Orsolya's body was discovered, she didn't have any ID on her, so when the police saw a blood trail leading back to her house, they were able to make an emergency entry where they're able to go in your house without a warrant. The cops busted down the door and cleared the house. That's where 13-year-old Leo would be found on the top floor of the house. Leo was in fact alone, and he also stated that his dad and brother were out of town and that he didn't know where his mom was. He was detained and brought down to the station for further questioning. The investigators also found out that she was killed in her own basement. The 13-year-old son was questioned by investigators where he would claim that he didn't know where his mother was. Leo would tell the cops that his mother informed him that she was going to a show on Friday night, and that's the last he heard from her. And police believe that he has no ties to the murder, which is why he walked free just a few hours later. Police also have this piece of evidence that they made public.
The NYPD confirming to WNBC that this home security video from the neighborhood shows the possible killer rolling Gail's body in a duffel bag. Police say Saturday morning a 911 call reported a suspicious bag with blood on it.
Surveillance footage shows us that at 4:30 a.m. on the night of Orsolya's murder, a figure can be seen on camera as he appears to be dragging something rather heavy looking. The person in this photo has yet to be identified, but people are theorizing that it looks like a 13-year-old dragging that bag-like shape. Also, the shape of what he's dragging, it kind of looks like this thing that the officer is holding. What exactly could that be? Do you know what this is? What about Howard and Jamie? This had all taken place over the weekend of April 15th to April 17th, and they were gone the entire time. As of writing this script, they actually aren't back, and it's Monday. Apparently from social media posts and police reports, the husband, Howard, and the second son, Jamie, had gone away to look at college for his son, Jamie. As those two were out for the weekend, Orsolya was said to have gone out to a show with a couple of friends the night she died, and had seemed to be having fun and enjoying herself. It's theorized that she may have brought some male home after the show who would end up taking her life in her own house while her 13-year-old son was upstairs. Investigators have tried calling Howard's phone, but as of latest news, he is apparently making his way home with his son Jamie. Since it is a new case, true reliable information is hard to come by, but I saw that Daily Mail UK made a news article based on this investigation. There's a couple of key points in this picture that we will be talking about, so let's do that now. According to reports, Orsolya was found with 60 stab wounds that were inflicted on her neck, torso, and arms. Police also say that the wounds she received show that she attempted to fight back. That's an awful way to go for sure, but there is something we can take away from this. The fact that she was stabbed 60 times shows us and the police that the suspect had some sort of hatred or rage towards the victim. It seems like overdoing it, or maybe the suspect just got carried away and wanted to make sure their victim is dead. At this point in the investigation, we can clearly start making theories because there is more behind this case than meets the eye. Some people theorize that the son and father did it, or that the 13-year-old son did it. What if I told you that apparently the husband received a text message from his wife after the murder? It's not shown anywhere, but multiple news outlets have stated that the killer was believed to have used Gaal's phone to text her husband. The text reads, "Your wife sent me to jail some years ago. I'm back." along with some sort of warning to not contact the police.
Police sources told Pix 11 the killer sent a chilling text to Gail's husband saying, quote, "Your whole family is next." Gail's husband, Howard Klein, telling the New York Post, quote, "There are concerns about our safety. Our lives are at risk."
Did Orsolya really get involved in a lifestyle that would cause her to go to jail? Even then, what could she have done to this old acquaintance where she would have wanted to rat them out and have them sent away for so long, and long enough for her to have a family? If we only assume that this jail stuff happened before she had the family. Only stuff like that happens in movies, or you would really have to be deep into that kind of life to be able to rat on the other person involved and to get them in jail for a long time. Why exactly would the killer of Orsolya text incriminating evidence to the husband? The lack of hiding evidence shows us that the killer is not scared of getting caught, and the rage it took to stab somebody 60 times shows us that the murder is personal. Even then, it's horrible to find out your wife was murdered. Then you get a text from her and someone telling you that you're next, and not to even bother with calling the police. At this current time, no official arrests or charges have been made, and the investigation is still ongoing. Reports say that an autopsy is also underway, so maybe I'll make an update video when more news comes to light, and we'll see how far the case has gotten then. What exactly are your thoughts on this case? I'll provide links with all my research below so you can comment on your own theories. I'll see you on the next video, and have a good one. KidDizzy out.